Alright, it's been a week since I posted my last video log on the Rachel Dolezal issue and several articles, Online Invective by Roger Young, an article by Carl Collison. And in the interim on Friday, a man by the name of Sandile Memela published in the Star, Johannesburg, newspaper there, a piece on the fragmentation of blackness, in which it's pretty clear from his writing that one can be politically speaking black, philosophically as well black, that in his view the new blackness has absolutely nothing to do with the apartheid race classification system, that he demonstrates that blackness itself is not homogeneous, that it's not a monolithic entity occupied by people of pure blood. Those persons, if they do exist, are in the minority. The post-apartheid blackness, the new blackness, is a result, as he puts it, Steve Biko, a reflection of a mental attitude, absolutely nothing to do with pigmentation. And I'm going to read you an extract from this very important milestone in similar writings on the race question in South Africa, dealing with identity and the identities of persons such as myself. According to Memela, the reality is that in this post-apartheid liberation, post-apartheid and non-racial society, this blackness is not only complex and confusing, it is also accessible to everyone who lives in this country, whatever shade of black, intellectually, philosophically, and of course politically, right? He goes on to say that the new blackness, if we can call it that, is what Biko himself defined as a mental attitude, and it can be adopted by people who have European descent, who are Chinese or Asian, and so forth and so on. And therefore, I need to relate to you my particular history of crossing the color bar, the color line, back in the 80s, where I started out working as a journalist for a colored newspaper. Not as a colored person per se. I didn't pass myself off as a colored, as you have claimed online. I'm like Rachel Dolezal, I'm an imposter, I pass myself off as something that I'm not. I've deceived people by writing for a colored newspaper, which are essentially the same allegations leveled against me on Media 24. When the newsroom, I was confronted with this colored newsroom, so-called, people were pretty affirmative that we were not colored people, we were black at that point. It's only after apartheid ended that colored identity resurfaced in various forms, and where the debate obviously is open as to what it is. What is colored identity? As you may know, under apartheid, if you were classified as a white person, you could apply to the minister to be reclassified as a colored person. Similarly, a colored person could be reclassified as black. But the joke, and this is the problem of people such as yourself, paraphrasing apartheid, no blacks became white and no whites became black. And that was the satire, parody, written, authored by the regime itself, because, as you know, apartheid's race classification failed miserably. There is no scientific basis for race categories as such. And the Population Registration Act was eventually abolished in 1991. A little bit late for me. I was still less affected by apartheid laws. Laws that, for instance, did not provide for coitus between mixed-race couples, where there was no space given in terms of the Group Areas Act for mixed-race mixed-race people to be in the same room at the same time, spending the night. What happened is pretty pathetic. My disenrollment from the white race, following my sectioning under apartheid laws, cutting me into bits and pieces. And I suffered the consequences of that journey in which I became involved in the black press, anti-apartheid movement, and went on to end up in a situation where I am accused by Media 24, by their council, being a Rainbow Nation in one person. Similarly, I've been accused of being black whenever I feel like it, and white whenever I want to be. And I've been accused also of wanting to assist them merely because I'm a coloured person. It's absolutely bizarre. This is not merely in writing, but it's also in the transcripts of the proceeding, Universe versus Media 24. So therefore I find it highly irritating and offensive that you are railing against my identity at the same time that you are asserting your whiteness and hence your apparent white guilt that you're trading off. As a person of privilege, Roger, you've got every right to your opinion, but you do not have the right to impose your views on persons who are not necessarily occupying your social strata or not your peers even. So yeah, I don't consider you my peer. I consider you as a being who was adopted pretty much late and after the fact. So I think that's it for now. Please read Sandile's piece. I think it is a milestone in the literature on the subject. Required reading for everyone. And I do intend to append it to my affidavit of response, citing various objections to the proceedings, the unlawful proceedings, the unlawful inquiries into my race identity conducted under the auspices of the Labour Court. I am appealing the validity of the decision, given that there is extensive perjury by the sole witness and a lot of racist, degrading inquiries into my presumed race identity. So David Robert Lewis will be the alternative, signing off.